My guests this hour are Michelle and Gary Johnson talking about Just Living Care. Firstly, Michelle, welcome to Ashdown Radio.
Thanks for having me.
Good to see you. And Gary, welcome.
Thank you for having us. Good to be here.
Good to have you both in talking about Just Living Care, which is obviously the name of your company, but also it is what you do. Before we do that, though, just tell us a bit about yourself. Michelle, what's your background?
I've been working in the care space now for around 15 years, domiciliary care. So we are...
For somebody listening who said, what's domiciliary care?
Yes.
What does that mean?
Sorry, yeah, good point. It's actually home care. So it's the more traditional home care, people that would be carers who are trained to go in and out of people's homes, probably for anything from half an hour up to 2 hours at a time, to do tasks to help them to stay independent.
So you've got a strong background in care?
Indeed so, yes. Right. We've been working in that space, as I say, for about 15 years. Right. At our height, we were employing around 120 care workers, probably about 180 people that we provided care for. Now we provide just living care. And we're a little bit more niche and a lot smaller.
Okay. So what about yourself, Gary? What's your background?
Oh, it's varied, Peter. I spent years in the airlines, doing all sorts of things, and in sales, and then probably point out Michelle and I are married, been married for 31 years. So we started a care business together in 2011, many years ago. Since 2011, I've also been working in care. We worked together in the domiciliary care business, as well as being married. We stayed married.
Yeah.
And working together
again.
Congratulations.
It's been a good time of our lives, hasn't it?
Was there anything that particularly inspired yourself, Gary, to sort of move into this sort of business?
Yeah, it's probably like people of our age, people of a certain age, you have parents that sort of go through care. And we'd always, I've been in sales prior to coming into the business, and I'd always wanted to go into something that you were sort of giving something back, and it was, there was a demand for it, and just go into something where you could do a good job and feel like you were, giving back to people, and so we saw care at first hand, and both we've got parents that have been through the system from start to finish, and just felt that it was something we'd like to get involved with and do our best. And
Michelle, you said when you first started, you started quite a large company. You were doing lots of care and lots of functions, but you've now changed and You're doing something quite niche.
Yes.
So tell us about that change and what it is that you do.
Yes, the change has been deliberate. What we actually provide now is something called living care. Living care is it does fall under the sector of domiciliary care, home care, but it is a little bit different. We essentially vet and employ care workers that will stay with a customer for 24/7, literally overnight, through the day. They will do the normal tasks that you'd expect a care worker to do, help with washing, dressing, eating, medication, but they'll also do housework, cooking, meal preparation. But the most important part of what they're there for is to ensure that people's lifestyles are not negatively impacted. So we have carers that will take our customers to the bowls club, golf, theatre, to London on holiday. So it's literally about choice. Nothing's prescribed either. So if you don't want to get up one day and it's 10 o'clock for breakfast, it's 10 o'clock for breakfast. There's nothing prescribed in that way. You are totally in charge of your own agenda, and it is literally to ensure that people's lifestyles remain as they want it to.
So Gary, tell me about the selection process, because when you're looking for a carer to work with a client, that selection is absolutely critical.
Yeah, absolutely. There's two parts to it. First of all, the carers that we employ are obviously experienced, and they also carry all the credentials that you have to within the care sector.
Sure.
They have the caring qualifications, and then we as a company are obviously regulated by the Care Quality Commission. So all of those factors sort of come into play to make sure that the people we employ are the right people and have experience. But then what it comes down to is matching the right personality with the customer. So we do everything from a 2-week trial. So if somebody wants to try living care before, they look at care homes or something similar, we can provide a 2-week trial to see whether it works for them. And within that trial, we will match a carer that we think will work with the personality. But it might be that it takes a change of carer to get that relationship to work, because obviously this is somebody that's going to be living with you 24/7 and needs to have the same sort of personality and interests to make it work really well long term. So yeah, originally, as well as being qualified to do the role and have the experience, it's then about matching the personality to the customer.
So, Michelle, in terms of people thinking about this, I'm assuming here that if somebody's getting to a certain point in their life, they're thinking about a care home. Is that the decision point where you say that this is another option?
Absolutely. This is definitely something to try. A care home is right for many people, but it is very final. What this is a bridge. It's a bridge from when things become a little bit tricky at home. You notice that potentially mum or dad's struggling. This is a solution that will allow a little bit more flexibility and a little bit more care over a longer period of time. But again, as I said previously, it's about choice. It's about enabling and keeping people in their home environment. There's a lot of research now as well that shows that if people are at home, they're less likely to pick up infection, they're less likely to fall, their mobility is maintained. So there are many benefits for staying within the home.
I mean, there's lots of evidence saying that bottom line, it doesn't take rocket science to understand people are happier in their own home. That's
indeed.
Logical.
Indeed they are. There's no big upheaval, no move. And pets are so important, and that's a real worry for many people, that if they're moving into a care home environment, that their pets are not going to be able to go with them. Also couples care. Couples really want to stay together. They don't tend to want to be separated in that way. And we do find that our price points are really, really attractive if it's for a couple.
So the point being that maybe it's one of the two is the one that really needs the care, and the other one really can't now provide it. Is that the point you're making?
And maybe they need a bit of respite. They need a little bit of support. And because what you don't want, of course, is somebody to burn out. Because if you are the main carer for somebody, what happens next? So it's literally, if you notice that things are getting a little bit tricky, maybe living care is something to explore. And as Gary mentioned, we do offer a 2-week trial, which is exceptionally useful to know it, for actually discovering whether this is a solution for you and your family.
Let's get down to the hard-nosed brass tacks of the money. And how does that work, and what's the current government limitations, and how does that come into play?
Yeah, it's true. It's something that needs to be looked at. First of all, we are not financial advisors. There are people who can help you with this part of the journey, and I would urge you to look and reach out to them. However, the basic facts are that if you have £23,000 or just over of cash available to you, you will be deemed a self-funder in terms of health and social care.
So whatever option you are thinking about, whether it's living care, whether it's a care home, or whatever other option, in terms of getting government help, if you got more than £23,000, the point you're making, you have to be self-funding.
You will be,
okay.
Yes. You're still able to go to the local council and have an assessment of need, which I would urge anybody to do, and also look at independent sources to help you with planning. But yes, your choices will then be what choices you make. You will be funding. So there are things available for both care home and in the domiciliary care setting, but by and large, if you have that amount of capital, then you'll be self-funding.
Right. And I wasn't going to talk costs with you today, because I guess it's very individual and it can vary. So let's not go into that. But I wanted just to get that cut-off point.
Yes.
Because I think it's reasonably well understood. But then above that, whatever you're looking for, it is a self-funding option. I mean, Gary, are there any common misconceptions that you've come across in the market when people think about living care?
I don't know about misconceptions as such. I think that it's not widely known about, and I think that's probably why we've gone into the living care market from domiciliary, and that's why the company's called Just Living Care, because we sort of want people to understand that is there as an option, and I think that probably the misconception is that if people need a level of care, then they would go into a care home, when actually having a living carer is a viable alternative for those that want to stay home, stay independent, carry on with their daily lives. And there are different levels of care we can provide. So it can just be companionship, and it can be personal care, and it can go right the way through to people that have beginnings of dementia, etc. So we have a variety of customers. But really, I suppose the message is, if you're thinking of having full-time care of some sort and you're thinking of care home, living care is worth trying. It might work for you, it might not. So it's easier to have a trial of 2 weeks with living care and then maybe decide that a care home is for you, rather than go to a care home and then decide maybe that wasn't the right decision. It's difficult to reverse that.
So if you're thinking about living care, though, from the point of view of yourselves as a company, what has the client got to provide in terms of facilities for the carer who's going to live in your home?
Absolutely, good question. A bedroom, a television and the internet are the three key things. There's also a food allowance for that carer as well, and we recommend that that's done through a carer card, so that you can pay for the food and the family can see the food, shopping payments, and it's all clear and transparent. But other than that, there isn't anything else that's required.
So it's a room, television in the room,
and
internet.
Yeah.
And then the bathroom, any bathroom facilities would be shared facilities within the accommodation, depending what's there.
Indeed. Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's good to talk to you both. I mean, you've got a lot of paperwork in front of you, Michelle. Have we covered the key things that you wanted to cover today?
Yes, it was just for me just to highlight the fact that living care can be an enabler, a tool. It's a very powerful tool, and it's a link between domiciliary care and the care home.
All right. And Gary, from your perspective?
Absolutely. I would just say that we're there to talk about just living care, just as well as provide living care. So if anybody is thinking about it now or in the future, even just wants to have a discussion, we're not hard push salespeople. If you want to have a discussion about it, we can tell you about it. If it's something you're considering for the future, then do get in touch.
And I'm sure the place you'd like people to go to first will be your website. So Gary, the address?
Absolutely. Yeah, it's www.justlivingcare.co.uk.
Gary and Michelle Johnson from Just Living Care, thank you both for joining me today.
Thank you.
Thank you.